A very good morning to one and all gathered here. Yesterday is a dream, tomorrow is a vision, but a day well lived make every yesterday a dream of happiness and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Carrying the same vision, we, the National Institute of Ocean Technology family, successfully complete 30 glorious and tremendous years of existence and step into its 31st year. It's indeed a proud and a momentous occasion for all of us gathered here. And we are all happy to have all the former directors of NIOT with us on this graceful occasion. To start the event, may I now request Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary MOES, our guest of honor, Sri E. Magesh, Director General for Center for Development of Advanced Computing, Tirumati Gajalakshmi, Director of Fisheries and Fishermen Welfare, Government of Tamil Nadu, Professor M. Ravindran, the former director of NIOT, to light the traditional lamp. I also request Director NIOT to join the dignitaries to light the lamp. Thank you all. May I now kindly request our chief guest for the day, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary MOES, Director General CDAC, Srimati Gajalakshmi, Director of Fisheries, Government of Tamil Nadu, and Professor Balaji Ramakrishnan, Director NIOT, to come onto the dais. I now kindly request Professor Balaji Ramakrishnan, Director NIOT, to felicitate our chief guest, Secretary MOES, Dr. M. Ravichandran, and our guest of honor, Sri E. Magesh, DG CDAC. Yes. I kindly request Dr. G. Dharani, Head Marine Biotechnology Group NIOT, to felicitate the guest of honor, Tirumati Gajalakshmi IAS. Thank you, sir. Over the past 3 decades, NIOT has consistently augmented several laurels in the realm of ocean science and technology. And this is the right occasion to take a revisit on the significant achievements in the last year. I request Professor Balaji Ramakrishnan, Director NIOT, to address the gathering and present the achievements made by NIOT. Thank you.
Honorable Secretary, Chief Guest of today's function, Dr. E. Magesh, DG, CDAC, Srimati Gajalakshmi, IAS, Director Fisheries, our guests of honor, my dear colleagues, dignitaries, friends, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. And I take this opportunity to welcome you all for our 31st Foundation Day celebration. I feel that it is a great occasion for all of us to get together. And when we planned this activity, trust me, just a week ago, and this whole arrangement and also the logistics done by our team in less than week time. What a day together actually here on this forum. 30 long, interesting, exciting, and momentous journey in science, engineering, and technology. We celebrate all these three in our day-to-day life. And this occasion, just a reminder that we have actually crossed the paths of challenges, the path of our efforts, and just to gather together to share the views of our future too. I welcome you all to this beautiful campus. As I always mention in most of my speech in the beginning, that this campus is very unique, not just only in India, but also in the Southeast Asian countries put together. This is the place where I always believe that the science, engineering, and technology shake hands together on day-to-day basis. It's very rare to see such campus in any other place. While in the race of demonstrating most of the technology in the ocean front, we also seriously look at our science too. And I take pride to present glimpses, I would like to tell you, with a special emphasis that only a glimpses of what we have really accomplished in the recent past. So when I say recent past, it may not even count to 365 days, not even a year in fact. I'm talking about the few months of the tremendous development that has actually happened in our campus. And we are proud to present that actually today in the August audience. And when we planned, we also have kind of worried that whether this auditorium, which we have built long ago with an expectation of not more than 200 people to be gathered at a time, now the institute has grown tremendously in all verticals, that this hall is no longer enough for us actually to get together. For your kind information, as we speak now today here, there is also a live streaming happening of this function. And there are few other halls also being occupied by many number of audience in the same building and elsewhere too. So, and this is the case in our science and technology and demonstration as well. Without taking much of time, I would like to highlight the recent past accomplishment that we have achieved through sincere efforts of our R&D activities on this wonderful 31st Foundation Day. So I'll highlight the footprints and recent progress and achievements and success of our team here. And NIOT, National Institute of Ocean Technology, has its own vision of harnessing the living as well as non-living marine resources, not only in the exclusive economic zone of our country, but even beyond the borders. And we also have specific mandates set out by our ministry, and time to time we also accomplish the mandates and objectives set out by our ministry. And we also join hands with the other sister institutions of our ministry too. As and when the slides are actually appearing, I probably will highlight those parts. If you look at our spread, the world is not enough. We have spread our wings. We have our efforts actually starting from Arctic to Antarctic. We have expeditions in Arctic. We have expeditions in actually Antarctic. Again, in association with other sister institutions of our ministry. And although we are focusing more in the Indian Ocean regions, including the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. And our spread is already there predominantly in Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal in terms of ocean observation and in terms of expeditions and campaigns. In the regions outside the EEZ, exclusive economic zone of our country. And if you look at very closely, then the entire coastline is covered by us. There is no place left out without our footprint in the entire country, east coast as well as west coast, starting from the northernmost part to southernmost part. We have projects, we have services, we have the implementation of our schemes spread all over the 9 maritime states of our country. If you look at the depth, in the depth scale, our projects starting from as high as the coastal topography to as deep as more than 6,000 meters of water depth we are talking about. So we have footprints every single part of the open ocean. We have more than 700 manpower now, put together all our regular project and outsourcing staff together. And we have few campuses outside this place, Chennai. And we are developing infrastructure, very specific, unique, and state-of-the-art infrastructure actually in many places, including the one that will be actually highlighted actually after my presentation, the seafront facility in Pamanji. Just we visited along with our secretary and other dignitaries yesterday. And there are some facilities being inaugurated there, and it is going to be highlighted in the subsequent presentations as well. We have number of missions. I'm not going to take a long time to describe, but there are some missions which are actually going on, much awaited, most sought after, eagerly, looking forward missions. And one such mission is actually happening in a very large scale in our institute. We call them as Deep Ocean Mission, thanks to our ministry's funding, enormous funding. In terms of funding scale, they run into several billions, and we have the responsibility of not only managing the financial, but also the R&D objectives to be successfully completed at time. So there is a difference between mission modes as well as the conventional projects that we always handle in the past 3 decades of time. This has some timeline set out to us, drawn. The lines are drawn, so we try to push our limits and bounds to reach the mission goals in certain time. So one such mission, probably all of us in the auditorium gathered would be familiar that we are talking about the human submersibles. Our team, Mansub team, has been working on this Matsya project, and there are large number of challenges, practical as well as technological challenges. We are actually trying to address each one of them. There are 100 number of components, individual components. It starts from basic principles of actually how to survive in the water depths of 6,000 meters. In case if you are wondering, what is the big deal of 6,000 meters of water depth, we are talking about 600 bars. And if you are not yet figuring out, the 600 bar, what it means, we are talking about roughly 600 plus kgs in 1 centimeter square. Am I right? That means a Maruti 800 car, or it could be even I-20 or whatever the car, being kept on 1 square inch of any space. And that is the kind of pressure that we are talking about. And it is enormous pressure. And in addition to that, we also have challenges of temperature. So we are thinking of actually sending 3 of our scientists to the water depth of 6,000 meters. You can imagine this is much more challenging. And there are a lot of components that we have actually developed in-house. We also agree the fact that there are some components being imported, but then the integration happens here completely indigenous. The individual control units, human support system, and how their survival actually, and also in case if we wanted to be evacuated in case of any eventuality, all of this has been meticulously designed, and all of these complex systems are actually integrated in-house. I think this is one of the biggest achievement of this project in a large scale, and none of the project in the past in the ocean engineering technological demonstration front has happened anywhere in the country in the past. So we are very proud to take this up in our campus, and we are also working on the underwater communications and the evacuation protocols and so on. The human spherical, I'm sorry, there is a small mistake over there, it's being changed in the last minute. Human spherical hull is also specially designed to serve, actually to safeguard our human scientist team in the water depth of 6,000 meters. It is also being fabricated using the titanium alloy. It's very challenging and one of its kind, very unique actually manufacturing process in our country again. We follow very stringent global standards, and that again actually puts in global mark and global map as well. And we are already started being visible in the global forum, and people have been started watching what is the development of this project. And I don't want to go into the deep details of this information, but one thing that I wanted to tell you that that is a space that three scientists are supposed to be accommodated. This very compact spherical hull, and they're supposed to squeeze themselves to be accommodated in the spherical hull. And you can see the complete the control system surrounded in the human spherical hull that they are supposed to be operating and controlling the entire vessel when they are actually in the water depth of 6,000 meters. It's going to be very challenging for us, and there are a lot of amount of good progress has already happened, and we are talking about each and every single component being tested in the laboratory, and it is being actually vetted by third party, and it is also being verified by the global standard agency and so on. So we start with the lab, and we are very soon going to go to the harbor for wet tests, and very soon in the next year, middle of next year, we'll be seeing the water depth of 500 meters, and by end of next year, beginning of the following year, we will be actually venturing into ready to plunge to the 6,000 meters of water depth. And we are very positive about that. And thanks to our Mansub team, they brought out all of this accomplishment in the short period of time. They also help us in various other activities. The deep sea tech team, we call them as DSC, deep sea tech team. They have the responsibility of operating the ROVs. They have responsibility of actually identifying the resources, objects, and whatnots in the deep oceans. So anything that comes into the deep ocean, I think it is our DST team which always have come forward to accomplish. This is another team, wonderful team, a new avatar of our NIOT. We call it as Varaha avatar. I think they also named the machine appropriately the same way, Varaha 1, Varaha 2, and Varaha 3. The third generation Varaha avatar has already reached the water depth of 1,200 meters. Not just only reached, but they were successful to collect the natural polymetallic nodules actually in the water depths of 1,200 meters in the Andaman Sea. I think Commander is going to explain that subsequently in the following program schedule. They're very jubilant actually. This has happened just a few months ago. No, maybe just a month ago. We have a wonderful marine biotechnology team. I think they start with very microscopic details to the macroscopic details of all the marine living bioorganism they are talking about. And we also have demonstrated actually the seaweed cultivation in the Andaman Seas in recent times, and it is actually attracting a lot of potential investors from the industry side, and also a lot of attention from the Department of Fisheries as well, as I understand, from the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Yeah, we recently demonstrated that actually in the Andaman Islands. And we also have, open sea cage, fish cage culture. And this also is actually attracting a lot of industry investment. And this technology has already been demonstrated. And we also join hands together with the Department of Fisheries and other stakeholding agencies in the country too. And the seafront facility, which is very unique in terms of the uh, capacity, in terms of the characteristics, and that will be highlighted by Dr. Dharani in the subsequent stage. We call it as ballast water treatment test technology facility. Those two are actually those few slides are about the deep ocean mission, and we are talking about the conventional project that we always handle time to time. We call it as ocean services, modeling, application, and resources and technology, OSMART. And our quest for harnessing the ocean energy, marine renewable in general, is always there since the inception of this institute. I think, as rightly pointed out by our secretary on the other day, that this institute is actually built on top of the marine renewables to begin with. I think Dr. Ravindran is also, Professor Ravindran is also here. You would be agreeing with me that this institute built on top of the marine renewable to begin with, and our quest of harnessing the marine renewable goes on, and we have accomplished many of that. And the recent one that we have taken up again, one interesting challenge is the VOTEC. Dr. Purnima is already working on it. And we have been treated as a demigod in the Lakshadweep Islands. We are the sole supplier of the drinking water, the potable water supply in many of the islands. I think, as I understand now, we stand supplying drinking water to 8 islands, and the ninth one is also getting ready. So all these islands are actually banking completely on the technology that we have developed in house, designed and implemented, and even actually we have seen supervised the entire process of the construction activity, and to see that the water being delivered to the public. And you can see the joy in the faces of the public when they actually take the water from our plants in Lakshadweep Islands. Coastal team, we have a sister institution under the ministry which looks after all the science part, the National Center for Coastal Research, and we join hands together. But then we always complement from the engineering perspective, and we also do have the strong team of the coastal oceanographic team, and we try to address the coastal erosion issues and inlet restoration programs and so on. So we have a lot of successful stories to share, but then, as I said, the time may not be sufficient enough for us to showcase all our achievements here. But then, just to give a glimpses that we have been implementing some hybrid solutions. We don't want to go really hard engineering solutions to some of the coastal situations, and we wanted to address it through some judicial mix of the soft as well as hard solutions put together. And that requires huge amount of confidence, knowledge, and of course you need to take some bold decisions too. And most of our attempts are actually successful, and we very proud about that, in fact. We are trying to map the wave atlas. Actually, this is probably decade old data that we wanted to revisit, revamp, and with the changing scenario in terms of climate dynamics, this would be one of the assets for the those who are working in the ocean science. And we also have successfully mapped the exclusive economic zone bathymetry, again thanks to our ministry's funding. We have mapped the bathymetry in high resolution, in fact, and we are talking about from 0 to 50 and then 50 to 300 and beyond. So we have stage wise mapping of the bathymetry. This is very useful information for those working in the modeling and the prediction stage. Ocean acoustics have the team has already been doing a wonderful job. I think we have plenty of expeditions and plenty of indigenous development. And one highlight that I would like to make here is the facility that is developed by our team, Ocean Acoustic team, is not only recognized within the country, but is also recognized now as a designated instrument at the global scale now. There are 7+ countries they participate in kind of a simultaneous testing. So there will be some common goal, common objective set out to all these test facilities, and we are one among them. So they try to cross compare how well we are doing better in terms of the acoustic test facility being utilized for the research activities and so on. So we are doing great there, and there are some expeditions which go beyond the borders. Marine sensor team, as I said, I think the lessons comes from our challenges. We realize that there are technologies that has to be developed in house. Some are basically denied by others, or some are not available for us to be ready-made to use in our projects. So we always realize that, and we start doing the efforts of the indigenization. And this is one among them. The acoustic telephone, underwater telephone, we have already achieved of the order of 500-meter, I guess. I think we are trying to push ourselves to go 2,000 meters and beyond now. So very soon we are going to have acoustic telephone of our own for the water depths of more than 5,000 meters. That's our target. And we also have a sub-bottom profiler, indigenization, side sonar, side scans, sonar indigenization, and so on. There are some strategic projects also we do in terms of ocean acoustics as well as ocean sensor systems. Ocean electronics, I think a number of technologies have already been developed and we got patents and the technology is being transferred to the industry. And there are a lot of mass production has already been started happening in this country. I think these numbers go, very long, and I'm just giving you only glimpses of that. To my best of understanding, no other, marine or ocean industry in the ocean institution in the country could have, done this kind of accomplishment. We are talking about more than 40 transfer of technologies to the industries. So when you say that transfer of technology to industry means, you already accomplished the practical application of the R&D work that you have done in house. That showcases our strength. We do have fleet of vessels that can go from coastal to deep ocean, and it is also our equal responsibility to maintain these vessels. When I talk about the vessel maintenance, it is a mammoth task. I think everybody will agree. This is like a elephant that you will have to, kind of, feed, and then you will have to operate and so on. So we spend a lot amount of energy, of course, money too, to maintain these vessels. And but they help us in turn, to accomplish large number of our R&D activities in the deep ocean. And just again glimpses, our voyages and cruises and campaigns. Actually, number of photographs. If I start producing, they will go actually into. It will probably crash your computer. So, but then just to give a glimpses, our vessels are actually catering not only to NIOT, National Ocean Technology, but all our MOS institutions. We always believe in the fact that hand holding along with the other sister institutions. And to be honest with you, I think the interinstitutional interaction is actually in our DNA, especially the NIOT's DNA. This may not be true the other side, but then we strongly believe that the NIOT has been helping NCPOR and many other institutions, INCOIS and so on. So we deploy buoys and we deploy drifters and we deploy actually many other equipment and sensors for other institutions as well, other than the NIOT's own requirement. Ocean observation system, it's actually again predominantly they are responsible for maintaining all the data buoys that are actually spread in space, Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, in fact. And we are also talking about one another very important buoy, that is the tsunami buoy. It is our responsibility to procure the individual equipments, assemble, integrate, program it, transfer, deploy, maintain, collect the data, pass it to INCOIS, and then it is supposed to be even maintained in every annual and so on. So this is something very routine for us. But one thing that I wanted to highlight to you that the INDARC, the subsea mooring being deployed in Arctic region, the entire operation of the deployment is just only one day, less than 24 hours. I'll tell you, the ship has gone out from somewhere in Norway, north of the Arctic region, and morning 6 o'clock, and by 6 o'clock evening, they deployed this. It's very simple task, right? But then I tell you, the precursor work for this one day deployment, our team has actually worked for one whole year. Trust me, 365 days. You identify the sensor, which would actually be working in the minus 50-degree environment during this winter time, and it may be slightly more during the summertime and so on. But then procure, test it, and then check for its consistency and transfer, deploy. This takes whole 1 year for just one day deployment. Of course, this is in association with the NCPOR and other MOS institutions. So that's the close to the end of the presentation and this journey of 3 decades of time. And we always celebrate, as I said, from the beginning of my talk, we celebrate the science, we celebrate the engineering, and we celebrate the technologies every single day in this campus. And today's celebration is just to collate ourselves, whatever we have achieved in the recent past, and share it amongst our own colleagues, not only the colleagues who are in service now, but also to the colleagues who have done their beautiful services to this institute, or for that matter, to this ministry. And this is not possible without the help of the scientist team, technical, admin staff, and a lot amount of them are actually regular project, and it could be even outsourcing. And and of course, there was actually a huge amount of hand holding by the experts who are not part of the institution, not part of our ministry, but they are always well wishers, and they help us time to time, external experts basically, and even ex employees. I realize that it is also heartening to see many of our ex-employees, they visit frequently to our campus, the kind of bond they have, the kind of attachment to this institute and so on. So I really love to see them very frequently visiting our campus. They do transfer their wisdom, they do share their experiences. And like I said before, interaction and collaboration, not only just, sister institutions of our MOEs, we always, open to, interact with the academia, interacting actually with the industry and public sector organizations and so on. It's something not new for us. Right from the beginning, this institute has actually evolved and it become an habit of actually interacting with many inter-institutions, inter-ministries. I think we have been kept on doing that. And now coming back to the fact that, the 3 decades of our journey, I joined this institute and I took over as director of this institution 6th of September 2024. Exactly speaking, 2 months, 2 days ago. So do you think, I think all of this has been achieved and accomplished, and the kind of, the success story that we are talking about is done in 2 months, 2 days? This is not really possible without the assistance and help and the selfless efforts of all our ex-employees of this institution, beautiful institutions, and those who are actually serving right now. On top of that, I also take this wonderful opportunity to felicitate all our humble, simple, yet powerful, and I think they cannot be said as down to earth, but I would say that down to ocean former directors of NIOT. I also take this opportunity to not only just thank them. I think what else could be a better forum than this Foundation Day to felicitate our former directors. Very interestingly, we have the founding director of this institution, very institution on a Foundation Day. Professor Ravindran, Dr. Kadroli, Dr. Atmanand, Dr. Ramadas, and also we have Dr. Shanai. I'm sorry. Can we have big round of once again applause? I also would like to felicitate them by myself.
Professor M. Ravindran, the founder director of NIOT. Dr. S. Kadiruli, our former director. Dr. M. A. Atmanand, our former director. Dr. Satish Shenoy, our former director. Dr. G. A. Ramadas, our former director. So we also request Director NIOT to felicitate Dr. Purnima, our former director.
Is their able leadership and humble in nature that brought the institute to the state of what it is today. And we are all really happy to be having you on board of today's Foundation Day function. And thank you so much for coming. And of course, we could not have Dr. Srinivas Rao as well as Dr. Das on board of the function today. And thank you so much for your time. And I pass my heartiest Foundation Day greetings to all of our NIOT colleagues. Thank you so much. Jai
Thank you, sir. One of the major technological developments achieved by NIOT is the exploratory deep sea mining trials conducted in the Andaman Sea. The deep sea mining group of NIOT has successfully conducted exploratory trials for polymetallic nodule in the Andaman Sea, utilizing a specially designed seabed mining machine called the Varaha 3. I now invite Commander Gopakumar, Head Deep Sea Mining Group of NIOT, to present the insights of mining trial to the gathering.
Thank you. I'll just make a quick presentation and before I go to the video. So the video is the more interesting stuff. Next slide, please. So just to give a brief where we went, while our mandate has been to develop technology for deep sea mining in the ocean, which is a depth of 4,000 to 5,000 meters and beyond. On the directions of the Secretary MOES, we were given this opportunity to also look at certain finds in the Andaman Seas. These were discovered by GSI in 2017 and they had done progressive exploration thereafter. But the interesting part is this is on a subsea plateau, on a cobalt crust plateau. And you can see the unevenness of the terrain. And these are some of the areas that were identified to us. These are the photograph examples from a ROV dives that they had in 2017, 18, and 19. So this is where we are supposed to go. So in contrast to our regular deep sea mining, which is on abyssal plain with a lot of soft soil, this was a total different region and terrain. So it was very deep. It was not very deep, very shallow. For us, 1,000 meters is very shallow as compared to 5,000 meters. And the terrain is rugged with sharp inclines, boulders, etc. But the abundance was reported to be quite good. It's about 10 to 15 numbers, which brought up to about 30 to 40 kg per meter square. They were really, unlike, they're not abyssal plain, but there were still ooze sediments there. And that brings a challenge because we were designing a machine which was more for the soft soil. So we had to make it for uneven terrain. And it was not very exhaustively or comprehensively surveyed. There were a lot of, it was actually exploratory when we went. This is where it is, close to the Andaman Seas, northeast to the Great Nicobar Islands. And this is the bathymetry that were given to us, which does not give very exciting confidence to go. But then a challenge is always a challenge. So we went for this. But before the bathymetry that they gave to us was something this was what is generated. You could see hillocks, and these hillocks were varying from as small as 10 meters to as big as probably hundreds of meters. And these are the two spots which was given to us on the West Civil Ridge. And this is a spot on the Civil Rise. So you can see that's very isolated spot on a very uneven terrain. So we had to redesign our machine. And since we were experienced in our machine from Varaha 1, very auspicious symbolic avatar that we were supposed to go down and bring some material to that surface, we had defined this 4-track machine without the regular cruisers. We have gone for flat cruisers so that they can move on the surface. And we also had to redesign our pickup system. While we had a soft soil pickup system and also hydraulic pickup system, this was very different. The nodules were much larger. There are some samples kept down below here in the front, lighted. They were as big as a shot put cut. So this had to have a different sort of collection mechanism, which we designed in-house in about 3 months and tested it exhaustively in our laboratory here. And this is what experience was when we went. We had asked GSA for 3 sites. They gave us 3 sites. One was 948 meters, the other one 680 meters, and the third one was 1193 meters. So the first 2 sites when we went, it was sheer rock. You will see from the video that not only were it rock, a lot of unevenness also by few meters. And we had a lot of damage to our collection system. You can see that metal which has been bent and some of them broken also. And we were very disappointed because we did not find any nodules there. So with this disappointment, we went to the third site and we found abundance of nodules. Not only nodules, but also a lot of rocks. These are typically volcanic, look like volcanic debris, but we are still studying it. We are also getting our sister institutes to participate. And these are the collections that we had from the third site at the depth of 1139 meters. We did 2 dives there because we had time. The depth was less. We could do more than one dive. And you can see the first set of collection, and this was just moving about 1 meter. We moved only 1 meter on the soil, on the seabed, and this was the collection. And this is much more movements there. So we'll play the video now. Play the video, please. Right, that yellow spot. Just go from the starting. So we had 3 dives. This is the first dive, which we did on the West Civil Ridge. So we did not sit on the seabed. We were hanging at 1 to 2 meters from the seabed so that we could move around. And you will find that our machine also was getting hammered onto the seabed because of the changes in the seabed as well as the swell on the surface. But this is how the seabed looks like. You can see isolated small pieces. We don't know whether they were rocks or they were nodules, but certainly it's not something which we could collect. It's not mineable. But mostly they were rocks and probably cobalt crust also. And we were moving the ship. So we had it hanging on our steel cable and we were moving the ship, and you can see the sort of impact that we're having because the sudden elevations that we were encountering. So this is not something that we can put a mining machine there. They were elevations of more than 2 to 3 meters. So since the ship is on DP, we're able to move the ship in a very incremental manner, about half a meter per second. These are some of the rocks that we encountered while our motion. We have done some editing here. So you could see that there is a sudden drop itself from, had we landed, we would actually toppled over because that is the sort of elevation changes at the first location. So these are the perils of seabed mining also, that you require exhaustive amount of exploration to be done. Like I said at the beginning, it's all exploratory. So these are all the discoveries which makes us go for better tools tomorrow to do better survey. This is a second dive, much shallower, about 680 meters, but the terrain is similar. And this is just, it is within about 12 nautical miles from the Great Nicobar. You could actually see the island next to us. So it's mostly coastal waters that we were in, but quite deep. Now you can see small rocks. We don't know they're rocks, they're nodules, but they're isolated. But these are not something that you can collect because they're very few and far between. So this is not a mineable quantity in the traditional way of that we look at mining. Yes, it's a good science, but not mining. This probably are cobalt crust also interspersed with volcanic deposits. So we moved the ship quite a bit around these spots. We moved around by 60 meters with the machine hanging. So we're just taking few clips of those movements. And the risk was that we should not hit into any outcrop or any sudden elevation changes. We did come across few sediment ooze areas like this, but then we could not put the machine at the surface because it would have damaged the machines. So we did land in a sandy spot, and we did have machine damage. After that, we had our tracks breaking and falling off also. But then those are the we could say the effects of experiments that we were doing, and we were prepared for that. We did collect some material here, but they were mostly looked like wood or some sort of very old wood pieces which were there. Now, how wood came, we are still analyzing it. We'll be giving to some of the institutes who work on this because it's not our specialty. But we did find a lot of material coming up, thing, and some falling off also, but no nodules as such in this location. So these are also some of the challenges we came across, that as you start moving the collection system, the disturbance is so enormous that your visibility gets constrained. So we're looking at better tools also with this sort of acoustic visibility tools. We're looking at there so that at least for these depths, we're able to see much more clearly when we have the sediments being disturbed. And you can see that even the light penetration is not much. So your visual ability to see around you is limited to just about 4 to 5 meters. This is the last dive, the third location, uh, much more northeast, and this is where we encountered the nodules. So you can see that all this ability to do this handling, you can see that even in a coastal water, the sea is little rough. This is okay in a coastal waters, but not so much in open sea conditions where the swell is much larger and the winds are much stronger. So you could see that the water is much more calmer in the coastal waters, and so it's this advantage here. And here we came across abundance of nodules. These are all sediment ooze, sand, and clay. There's clay below this sandy surface, and you can see that from the look itself, we can make out there are much more larger nodules, much bigger. No, how much is the mineral resource in that yet to be established, but there is abundance of much larger nodules, and you can see the immediate disturbance of the soil. So these plumes do make visual assessment much more difficult, and we'll show a different video where you can see the nodules falling into our collection tray. So you can see that apart from sand, there is also soil, because all this reddish color was from the soil. So many of these nodules are actually stuck quite firmly, quite strongly in the soil. So even when we are collecting with the pickup, many of the nodules get stuck in the pickup because that is the sort of force required to prise it out from the soil. And you can see that with hardly any motion, we had quite abundant collection. So this endeavor of ours was simply to demonstrate, prove to ourselves that we can collect, and the surface is amenable to our locomotion and collection systems. These are lift off. So the huge plume disturbance which comes as you lift off from the seabed, and visibility, of course, is badly constrained. A lot of lessons we have learned from this about even including the collection back of the system on board. So we'll be doing a lot of improvisational with these lessons learned and the takeaways of our experience there. So you can see that we even have nodules stuck on the teeth, on the collection teeth. That's how strong the nodules are embedded in the soil. So this is the collection about 20 odd kg of nodules, just with about 1 to 1.5 meters of motion on the seabed. This is a test run that we did before we did the other one. So what we find, the smaller is all basaltic rocks, and some of this we have found as the seed also. Means many of these nodules require a seed around which it can crystallize. So while we find in the abyssal plains more of fossil material, maybe shark tooth, here we found that they are either these stones or some other material. So we found even wood sort of pieces also. So we are testing that what is the life of these seed as compared to the deep sea nodules. So this is the second dive at the same spot. And interestingly, we did have two of our tracks getting damaged. So we have put our backup track on the last, the abyssal plain tracks, and surprised that also worked in this terrain. So we had quite a bit of locomotion on the seabed for good 2 hours, and we collected quite a bit of the nodules and rocks along with it. So this is the one on the top. This is the view from the top while there's a collection going on at the seabed. And this is what you see around. The light penetration is very, very, very less. So you can hardly see around you. Like I earlier said, that the amount of soil also being collected is phenomenal. And you can see a lot of nodules are actually falling out also. We had a lot of them. We lost quite a bit of nodules in the collection. So these are the things, takeaways for us to actually improve, optimize, and make it more efficient, our collection systems. The associated part also with the environment impact, we'll be studying that also. In fact, it may arise in many people's minds sitting here that you're creating a lot of plumes and what happens to the environment, things like that. Yes, this is the exploratory mining machine. We'll also be studying the AI aspects of it so that we do look at a 360-degree view of every aspect of mining as much as we do in the abyssal plains in the Indian Ocean. Yes. With this, I will end this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for providing the exhaustive insights into the mining trials that happen in the Andaman Sea. NIOT also added another stone to its ever glittering crown as India's first and only ballast water treatment technologies test facility was inaugurated by our Secretary MOS yesterday at NIOT seafront facility at Pamanji. This facility marks a landmark in expanding NIOT's capabilities at the global stage. I now request Dr. G. Dharani, Head Marine Biotechnology Group, to brief the gathering about the ballast water treatment technologies test facility.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, thank you very much. We have established in state-of-art ballast water treatment technology test facility for the first time in the country, of course, in the first time in the southeast coast, which was very physically inaugurated by Secretary MOS yesterday. And we have a short video on that, which is self-explanatory. And just I request Secretary MOS to formally dedicate the ballast water treatment technology test facility to the nation. And the video is self-explanatory. Please sit.
Patients have been attributed to ballast water used to stabilize ocean-going vessels. Marine discharge of ballast water causes spread of viruses, bacteria, microbes, small invertebrates, eggs, cysts, and larvae of various species to the new habitats. Considering the gravity of impact of ballast water in spreading bioinvasion, the International Maritime Organization, IMO, has initiated preventive measures to treat ballast water to remove potentially harmful biological material before discharging into a new habitat. In the present scenario, there exists no land-based ballast water treatment technologies test facility in this very important region of the Indian Ocean. National Institute of Ocean Technology is in the process of establishing the Ballast Water Treatment Technologies Verification Test Facility on the east coast of India in NIOT Seafront Facility at Pamanji Village, Andhra Pradesh.
Thank you, sir. The entire facility is totally designed and developed indigenously inside the country by especially by our SFD group and estate maintenance group. And it was conceived very long back, of course, thanks to all director and particularly Director Ramdas, sir, former director, which we initiated 1.5 years back and we completed in this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. The Marine Biotechnology Group of NIOT is implementing the research and developmental activities under the Vertical 3 of the Deep Ocean Mission. The Vertical 3 focuses on profiling, characterization, and archiving of marine piezophilic, piezo-tolerant, and symbiotic microbes in the Indian Exclusive Economic Zone. In this connection, the foundation stone for the Marine Microbial Repository was laid by Secretary MOS yesterday at the NIOT facility at Chittedu. In order to archive and centralize the microbial sequence data, MBT NIOT, jointly with the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, Pune, had developed a Marine Microbial Information Portal, MMIP. MMIP is set to function as a one of its kind open access web portal that provides the user to leverage to submit and analyze large-scale microbial and metagenomic sequence datasets. MMIP also augments bioinformatics pipeline and on-demand hardware allocation to the users. MMIP would aid in executing the major objective of archiving the sequence information under the Deep Ocean Mission Vertical 3. I kindly request Secretary MOS to officially launch the Marine Microbial Information Portal.
Ocean technology. Number.
Thank you very much, sir. The Vertical 6 of Deep Ocean Mission is aimed at establishing an advanced marine station for ocean biology to carry out cutting-edge research in various realms of ocean biology and biotechnology. The Marine Biotechnology Group of NIOT, jointly with the Center for Advanced Development of Computing, Noida, has developed the website for the Advanced Marine Station. I kindly request Secretary MOS to launch the website of the Advanced Marine Station for Ocean Biology. Thank you, sir. The Vertical Six also aims to couple academic programs like MSc and PhD, and also the postdoctoral fellowships, in addition to the research and developmental activities in the field of marine biology and biotechnology. At this point of time, we would like to register our thanks to the team from CDAC Pune and CDAC Noida, who had helped us to design and develop the portals MMIP and the website for the Vertical Six Advanced Marine Station for Ocean Biology. I would like to request our guest of honor, Sri E. Mahesh, Director General CDAC, to address the gathering.
Secretary Sir, Dr. Vaichandra, Madam Gajilashmi IAS, Dr. Balaji, Director NIOT, dignitaries of the dais, scientists, researchers. Good morning to all of you. First of all, happy Foundation Day, 31st Foundation Day. It is very nice to connect on this particular day for everybody, those who have been associated with NIOT in the past. And it is indeed befitting that the honor that Dr. Balaji has bestowed on all the former directors, and also that the former directors have taken time to come and show that this institute is very close to their heart. I mean, this is really heartwarming to see all this happening today. So apart from this, it's always kind of a report card reading. Today, Dr. Balaji has read the KRA KPI, which was set by Secretary Sir. And it was so elaborate. Many things are new to us, like for outsiders. And I'm sure that Secretary Sir is happy about the progress and the KRA KPI is met with the organization. So just a brief about CDAC. Before that, Dr. Ravichandra, Secretary Sir, has been visiting CDAC in various capacity. He was chairman of many of our working groups, PRSGs. He has been guiding us on many of our projects, especially that is connected with high performance computing. And in one such meeting, he took a review of other activities of CDAC. And then he found out there's a lot more potential apart from high performance computing. And he invited us to NIOT in Chennai. That was about 1.5 years back. Myself, along with our team, we all came here. And we had a very fruitful discussion that time. And many things are work in progress. What you see today, just two of those applications. Many things are still happening. The works that is happening out of Trivandrum, they are specialties in underwater electronics. I mean, some of the works that they have done for the Indian Navy is still running for more than 15 years. They have done the underwater range in Goa, which is still being used by the Indian Navy to make the annual assessment of the ships. So they're good at underwater electronics, and many more works is being planned along with NIT. Apart from HPC, CDAC is into multiple other verticals like processor development, quantum computing, e-governance applications, IoT, and health vertical. We have a lot of activities going on health vertical. And within the high performance computing, we have done a lot of work in indigenizing the system itself. In the past, we used to buy and keep the machine. We used to bring the assembled components and then put the casing and keep it here and make it available for the research community. But today we have our own servers which are designed. We have our own network components. We have designed our own network components. We have designed our own storage. And going forward, we'll have our own processor, which will be the first of the kind. We are one among the 4 or 5 nations worldwide to have that capabilities. Today, I recall, because it's a foundation day, I recall how we suffered because of the sanctions in the past. We were denied supercomputer. I mean, likewise, I know that NIT also would have been denied some technology in the past. Today, the scientists, the staff, everybody have come together to make this a reality. We are no more dependent on any technology outside the country. We can be self-reliant. thanks to the works that has gone and the challenges that our staff and the scientists have spent in the last decades. And today is the time to recollect that and understand and cherish those moments. And again, I wish all of NIOT happy 31st Foundation Day. Coming back to these two applications, these are very important. I'll talk about the one which in which people can apply and get sanctioned. I mean, this is very important because it's kind of part of the secretarial work, which any ministry has to do. Every ministry will keep funding projects. They keep publishing, and then, in fact, not only projects, they also sponsor PhD programs, MSc programs, and all of that. There's always a problem that how far we have reached. Who really knows about these programs? Transparency is a problem. We don't know how many people have really benefited. Are we duplicating the efforts? Are we funding for the same project 2 times? So all these issues are there. But this platform will solve all of that. So it is very transparent. People will know when to apply, what are the opportunities available, what projects they can get into that, what is the kind of evaluation will take place, who are the committee members, when the committee members will come together to make the assessment, when the project is sanctioned, how the financial distributions happen, what about monitoring the project, what is the progress of such projects, or progress of any program like MSc or PhD programs, how that is happening, and then take it to a logical conclusion. This entire thing has been captured in this particular application. It's fully transparent, available online for all the stakeholders. And then for the second application, this is very closely connected to the HPC system. See, today we don't have the luxury of having big exascale machines. We are limited. No, we don't. It costs a lot of money. Today we have a machine called Aurora system, which is ranking top of the world. But it took a lot of money. And if India can afford that kind of money, we are also there. We could we could be in the top one list. But we have to optimize our resources. We have to make sure we use the resources in the best possible way. And also collaborate. We also need to collaborate. As scientists, we do a lot of works, they go unnoticed. We become unsung heroes. It doesn't get published. Or because it should be, we are not willing to disclose that. Or there are other constraints which doesn't allow you to disclose that in a proper platform. So this is such platform which will help you to first, use the compute resource that is available to you, create data, a value attached to the data, and then share that across your community. And then get the rightful credit for all that information that you share. And make progress in all the scientific research and other activities that you do. So we have taken great care in making sure this particular application is designed in such a way that all of these objectives are met. Secondly, I said, firstly, the one I told about the compute resources. This is a platform which is fully scalable. Today, it is running on a single node workstation. Tomorrow, you want to put a cluster to it. Yes, it will be very minimal effort. We can scale it to a cluster within NIOT. Then you could think that why not NIOT alone? We want to scale it to other institutes under the MOES. Yes, we can do that. We can scale the same platform, the application and hardware to other clusters available elsewhere under the MOES umbrella. And which means the possibilities become enormous. You can collaborate with other institutes. You can see what data they are creating, what kind of research outcome is happening there. Of course, you will have the credit for what you do within here, and then you also respect the activities of the other institutes. So this platform is going to create, I only wish this, all of you adopt this in all sincerity and take this forward. I once again wish all of you a happy 31st Foundation Day. Thanking you all for the efforts.
Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to request Professor Balaji Ramakrishnan, Director NIOT, to present a memento marking the launch of MMIP and AMSO website to the chief guest and our guest of honors. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to cordially invite our guest of honor, Sri H.V. Ramesh, Vice President and Senior Principal Surveyor, Indian Registry of Shipping, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Respected Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Dr. Ravichandran, guest of honor, Mr. E. Mahesh, Srimati Gajalakshmi, Director NIOT, Dr. Balaji. Let me first start by congratulating NIOT, its employees, present, former directors, present and former, with whom some of whom I have already worked with earlier in various committees. Congratulations to Ministry of Earth Sciences for successfully seeding such institutes of international repute, NIOT, NCPOR, and others, which have demonstrated the capabilities of our scientific community and made our country proud. There is visible focus for integrating scientific research and technologies towards achieving India's sustainable development goals. It is indeed a privilege to be invited to speak at this momentous occasion. As a pioneering institution dedicated to ocean research and technology, NIOT has made invaluable contributions to the India's maritime capabilities, environmental sustainability, and technological innovation. Over the past 3 decades, your commitment to advancing ocean science and technology, harnessing marine resources, and addressing challenges like climate changes is commendable. Indian Register of Shipping is proud to have been associated with NIOT and MOES for some of these prestigious projects of national importance. Sagar Nidhi is one of such examples, where NIOT and IRS have collaborated together, and not only IRS has done the classification part of it, we also have been a part of the NIOT overseeing team, thereby ensuring not only the class standards and safety and aspects are met, but also ensuring the scientific mission requirements are complied with. Similarly, in the more recent times, I'll recall Sagar Tara and Sagar Anveshika, these 2 coastal research vessels which were built in this country, and the collaboration between NIOT and IRS has ensured that there have been quality ships delivered timely, thus demonstrating not only the collaboration works, but also the competence of the Indian shipbuilders and putting to rest all the apprehensions that the industry has today. Our efforts of synchronized professional teamwork between NIOT and IR class is in ensuring the success of prestigious projects of installing the SBT antenna on board Sagar Nidhi for tracking GSLV Mark III. Launch mission was appreciated by, of course, various people, but none other than ISRO and the community there. As IRS enters the 50th year, we would like to express our gratitude and honor the valuable contributions towards the growth of IRS from all the stakeholders, including NIOT, NIO, NCPR, and other organizations, scientific organizations which we are working with. IRS has classed many vessels operating all around the globe, including tankers, bulkers, with ice class notations, and some of them are certified for polar code compliance. We at IRS are mindful of the requirements of the scientific and the research community and are working closely in developing requirements and rules in sync with the scientific community, like the underwater radiated noise or cyber securities and things like that. Apart from these, we also have developed capability to assist the scientific community in noise and vibration prediction and also their measurements. We also have capability to deal with the silent notations of ships or to verify against the established standards. IRS representatives have been a part of many of the committees that are instituted and constituted in this NIOT. For example, the Project Monitoring and Coordinating Committee for the acquisition of the research vessels, and more recently as part of the manned submersible projects Matsya 6000. And IRS also has on the technical committee a nomination. We have co-opted a representative from NIOT. Thus, the collaborative spirit between IRS and NIOT is a shining example of how strategic partnership can propel scientific and technological progress. As NIOT enters its 31st year, NIOT's works remains critical to the nation's ambitions in ocean exploration, climate adaptation, and economic development through blue economy. Its inauguration of ballast water management test facilities, another progressive test, and IRS congratulates all the scientists at NIOT for taking this initiative of establishing India's own land-based ballast water treatment technology test facility. And IRS is also involved there and is closely working with NIOT and is committed to continue this collaboration. Just to mention here, we are talking about, I heard this thing of DG CDAC. As the technology develop, digitalization, and more we move towards artificial intelligence and supercomputing, advanced computing, cloud computing, a lot of terminologies which we hear. We experience the same things on the ships as well. So to cater to that, there are something called cyber security protocols and requirements that. So IRS also has rules for dealing with it. And if you get a chance, we would like to come and talk to you about it at a later date. The government's Maritime India Vision of 2030 and the Maritime Amritkal Vision 2047 are encouraging and a testament for our ambitions to make India a leading maritime nation, which can be achieved through leveraging our available knowledge and the resources in the country. Wishing the entire NIOT team continued progress, success, progress in all endeavors. Your work continues to inspire all of us and all the people. I'll take the liberty to say the people of this country proud and inspires us. Your work creates opportunities for future generations of scientists, engineers, and innovators. Here is to many more years of excellence, inventions, discoveries, and collaboration for impactful contributions in realizing our dream of Viksit Bharat. Congratulations once again, and thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to request our guest of honor, Srimati Gajalakshmi IAS, Director Fisheries and Fishermen Welfare, Government of Tamil Nadu, to address the gathering.
Respected chief guest of today's function, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Minister of Health Sciences. Guest of honor, Sri E. Mahesh, DG CDAC. Director, Balaji Ramakrishnan, NIOT. Dr. M.V. Ramanamurthy, Mission Director, MOES. former directors and officials of various central government institutions, head of various central and state government departments, special invitees, valued stakeholders, and friends from the media. It's very impressive to see that, as said by the director, that within a very short notice, the NIOT has organized such a very beautiful inaugural function on its 31st foundation day. And it's very nice to see the former directors like a family. You are all here to witness the progress of your own organization. And I could see from outside of the scientific community, being an outside, I can see that so many progress is happening, has been made and is being happening in NIOT. It's all welcoming, and I congratulate on behalf of our department of Tamil Nadu. Really, it is a privilege to congratulate the research teams of NIOT for all these accomplishments. The prime focus topic of today, which has more relevance to our fisheries sector, it is a ballast water testing technology. This ballast water treatment technology test facility has also relevance with the fisheries sector, especially for Tamil Nadu also, because we have the second longest coastal length of 1,076 kilometers and also major 3 ports. We all know very well the ships we receive from different parts of the world on a daily basis brings in numerous marine organisms from one region to the another when they are in the form of a ballast water. So we all know how it could affect the system, especially the discharge of ballast water. If it contains invasive species in any form, like microbes, phytoplankton, green mussels, and also fishes. They normally, if they are invasive, it is really making the system very bad. Actually, it causes a lot of havoc, leading to ecological as well as economic damages, both for marine ecosystem as well as the community which lives there. For example, you can see the prime example is in Enno region. We are facing one invasive mussel menace since 2017. Till now, we are unable to solve or have a permanent solution. Actually, they have invaded the entire Ennur region at the mouth of Kosasale River. It has even reached up to 12 kilometers inside. So it has made into a form of a big substratum, like a very it's like a concrete structure where we couldn't remove it. It's very difficult to remove because if it's a very resistant nature of the organism, and that is really making our fishermen community a difficulty in fishing and also all the ecosystem there, because you know very well they will disrupt the indigenous microorganisms or the edible mussels, fishes, everything. Oh, we are in collaboration. Actually, our state government has taken a very comprehensive effort in roping in many of the institutions like NIOT in this regard to find a permanent solution, because dredging alone is not a full solution, a permanent solution. Though we are trying for physical, biological, as well as chemical methods. So we are witnessing the importance of proper treatment of that ballast water that comes into the system, into our system. So I'm glad to know that NIOT has taken up much needed ballast water treatment technologies as part of the research program. Research is indeed a collaboration endeavor that demands the contribution and dedication of many people. I want to extend my appreciation to the entire research team behind the design and the establishment of ballast water treatment system. I'm also confident that in the days to come, this facility will provide innovative solutions for the development and testing of ballast water treatment technologies, thus contributing to the reduction of invasive aquatic species and enhancing the global marine biodiversity. In this context also, I would like to emphasize that the Government of Tamil Nadu Fisheries Department has a very long association with the NIOT in various capacities, especially in the offshore fish catch culture endeavor, and also in our social programs on providing alternate employment for fishermen as well as fisherwomen. We also have a lot of scope for seaweed culture. We are doing a lot. Our fisherwomen are involved in that. We are also in the process of completing a seaweed park. So I would also extend my wishes that with the help of collaboration with the NIOT and such institutions, we could serve the fishermen community and our people at large in a better way. Thank you, one and all. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi, had shared the vision for Viksit Bharat 2047, which envisions to make India a developed nation by the year 2047. NIOT, being a pioneering institute in the field of science and technology in India, has prepared its vision document indicating its plan for the future. I now request Dr. Vijaya Ravichandran, Head, Seafront Development Group of NIOT, to present the gathering with an overview of NIOT's vision towards Viksit Bharat 2047.
Namaskaram. Greetings to all of you on the occasion of NIOT Foundation Day. Respected and honorable dignitaries on the dais, and my colleagues and friends. This is a very pleasant duty of that has been assigned to the planning group to create the vision document. But as you all know that we cannot singly do it. We have to take inputs from all of you for creating this document. We have not yet prepared. We are in the process of preparing the document, for which we conducted a competition. And just before that, we were trying to align all our activities in line with the UN SDG goals and the blue economy uh, concepts. So it was amazing to note that as we tried to align our activities with the UN SDG goals, it is our founding fathers who have already laid the framework for this alignment at least 30 years ago. It was so amazing that we are already working towards that only. So you all, everybody would have seen this 100 times. All the groups, we have the 6 SDG goals that fit to us, and you may think it's all juxtaposed, all the groups, but the reality is that every group fits almost everywhere. These are the working groups of NIOT, and we have the 6 UN SDG development goals, that is the zero hunger, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, responsible consumption and production, climate action, and life below water. So all of us at NIOT have been working towards this goal only, though it was in groups. But as you see, it dissolves the groups, and all the compartments are removed, and we will all fit into this. So the focus of our activities has been towards this, and so so our focus will be on capacity building and indigenization, societal. All this we have already been doing, but it will be of more. We'll try to build up a very strong synergies with this disaster data augmentation and renewables and resource exploration and mapping. So this is what we will go work towards for the Vision 2047 for the Viksit Bharat. Next. And then this is the blue economy concept. And you see that we have juxtaposed the blue economy concept on the SDG goals. And you will see pretty much all our activities are aligning. It's all part of this. These are not our groups. These are the blue economy concepts. So you can see that all of us pretty much fit into that, and we have to build synergies. We are already working in a small way, but we have to build synergies with the public private partnership, academia, industry, state and UT governments, because they are the primary stakeholders. Many of our projects can get implemented only with the stakeholder interests like desalination or coastal protection. Unless we have a stakeholder, we cannot implement them, and it will be for the general benefit of the society. And then we are also contributing in a big way to defense and shipping, and which we will continue to do in our goal 2047. We have other stakeholders and inter-ministerial also collaborations also. So this is the framework on which the Vision 2047 document is being developed. But I again wish to reiterate that all of this has been already laid by our founding fathers for working towards this goal. In this regard, we had a competition for people younger than the age of 40 years, because Viksit Bharat 2047 is quite far away. So we wanted to take the ideas of the younger people, and we had a competition. There was an overwhelming response. About 40 plus people participated, which was also, they made presentations, and it was also based on the framework of blue economy and SDG goals, and it was evaluated by a panel of senior judges. And I would just like to fly through that competition that was held in NIOT. These were the presentations by the various groups. These were the teams. And that was some of the winning teams that of whose presentations has been shared here. And we again want to state that as again you would have seen that all have participated in their own groups. We a vision for 2047 of NIOT is beyond the groups. So we need to dissolve these walls and we have to work together because most of the goals are interdisciplinary and intra-functional. So this is the basis on which we will be developing the Viksit 2047 vision document for NIOT. And that is what I hope you all agree with us. We always venture where others stop. We always, like our director said, we would plunge where others will stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. As a part of preparation of the NIOT vision document, a competition was conducted, and I request Secretary MOS to distribute the prizes to the winners of the competition. Start with the consolation prizes. Dr. Kiran A.S., Mr. Ramkumar, and Mr. Lokesh. A big round of applause is requested. The first place goes to Lieutenant Commander V. Shyam Sheshagiri Rao and Mr. Krishna Teja. The second place goes to the team of Ms. Anuleka and Mr. Anand Kishore. The third place is shared by three teams. The team one, Mr. Abhishek Tawa. The next team consists Dr. Karpagaraja Sundari, Ms. Grishma, and Ms. Rupamadi. Followed by the team Mr. A. Jyoti Prakash, T. Karthikeyan, and Mr. Emmanuel Keba. Thank you, sir. I would also request the coordinators of the event to come and collect their appreciative prizes. Dr. Josia, Dr. Dinesh, Dr. Balanaga Jodi, and the judges for the competition, Dr. G. Lata, Dr. S. Ramesh, Dr. Vijaya Ravichandran, Dr. Veda Chalam, and Dr. Vinit Kumar. Thank you very much, sir. It is also informed that all the participants of the Vision 2047 competition can collect their prizes from the green room after the event. Thank you. So now I take the pleasure of inviting our chief guest, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary MOES, to deliver the Foundation Day address.
Today's guest of honors, E. Magesh, Director General of CDAC, and Srimati Kajalakshmi, Director of Fisheries, Tamil Nadu Government, and Director NIOT, Professor Balaji, and former directors of NIOT, Professor Ravindran, Dr. Kudrali, Dr. Atmanan, Dr. Shanai, Dr. Ramdas, and also Dr. Purnima, and two of them are missing, maybe Dr. S.K. Das and Dr. Srinivas Kumar. Distinguished invitees, friends, and colleagues from NIOT. Very good morning to all of you. And first and foremost, greetings to all of you for this 31st Foundation Day of NIOT. And congratulations to all of you for the 30 years of service to the nation in terms of various technologies and services to the society. Of course, you all know that maybe many of the things already Professor Balaji stated, which I want to convey what has been done by NIOT. Of course, NIOT started with, you all know that two keywords, technology and ocean. That means ocean technology. Ocean technology for exploration, ocean technology for harnessing resources, both living and non-living resources, and technology to observe the ocean, to understand the ocean, and technology to provide the services to the society from the ocean sector. So these are the various things it has been aimed for it. I think NIOT has tremendously contributed to various sectors, of course, the ocean technology is not very simple. It is time consuming, cost intensive, and maybe human knowledge intensive. It is big things when compared to the terrestrial, any of the technology related aspects. Everybody knows that. So coming back to ocean technology, of course, now we are moving towards 2047. I think the biggest agenda for all of us is Vision 2047 is the blue economy. How do you realize the blue economy from the present status of 4% of GDP contribution to the country to at least 10% of GDP from the blue? That's the main objective. For that, NIOT's role is very, very important. Of course, there are very other aspects, not only contribution to GDP, but also we need to have various elements in the ocean. Because ocean, only 5% of the ocean in terms of volume, in terms of space, we have explored. We know what it is. 95% we don't know. Though we are using 95% of the ship transport, that means volume material transport is through ocean by shipping. But 95% we don't know what is happening inside the oceans. So I think it is paramount important that we need to explore the oceans. For exploring the oceans, it is not enough only at the surface. We need to dive deep. For that, I think we need to develop various technologies. Many things already has been developed. We have to make a state-of-the-art AUV, ROV, and much more various technologies we need to develop so that we can go down and see what is happening, so that we can explore much more in the what is to be known for the humankind. So first one is exploration, and second one, when we talk about, I think we need to harness the ocean resource sustainably. So I didn't talk about the ocean economy. Since I told blue economy, that means it is the sustainability inclusive. So we need to worry about sustainable harnessing the ocean resources. When you are talking about resources, it is not only for the living resources, but also non-living resources. So the main point in IoT is mainly non-living resources, whether we can harness the minerals from the oceans or the energy from the oceans, or much more, maybe in the biological sense, whether you can have a seaweeds or maybe fisheries. We have only coastal fisheries dominated. Deep sea fisheries, we don't have even policy. Of course, we need to develop a policy for the deep sea fisheries and various technology and gears we require to develop for the harvesting of fisheries in the deep sea. Even we are not gone for much beyond our EEZ. Many of the other countries, people, they are coming close to our EEZ and they are doing fisheries, but we are not capable of going there and do much more fisheries. So I think we need to develop various technologies and policies in place in order to achieve the target of what we are thinking of blue economy to take it forward. Of course, the other important component is water. Actually, this I always tell that these 5 components is one of the important things always rule over next few decades. Energy, water, food, and also health of the ocean as well as the health of the human being. Maybe you can call it as a one health. The human health is subset of ecosystem health. And all these 4, how it will evolve under the warming world, under the climate change, because the climate change is also one of the important aspect we need to look at it. This all 5 aspects, I think NIOT has to play a significant role, and it is doing that. But at the same time, I think the gear, whatever we have done, I think we need to go for much faster height, because world will not wait for us. I think we need to go. We should not be a follower of technological follower. Some of the things we need to go beyond, something we need to think beyond, because we have a human intelligence, we have a knowledge house, but we need to use that effectively and try to get something innovative. Something innovative we need to think about so that we can best utilize the ocean resources effectively. When you talk about the climate change, we need to think about how the sea level rise is going to happen, what we can mitigate, or we can have a carbon sequestration, whether we can go for nature-based solution to store the sequester the carbon, or chemical-based or physical-based sequestration we need to think about. So these are the big things we need to think about. It is a contribution to the global common, as well as we need to the contribution to the national, as well as we have to go for local. So local, national, and global, all these things we need to contribute, because ocean is, after all, it is one ocean. So we need to think about all the aspect of contributing in terms of technology in various aspects. As you know that in the Ministry of Earth Sciences, so we want to have in, of course, though we are working in 5 spheres: atmosphere, hydrosphere, geosphere, cryosphere, and associated biosphere. But each one we start with up to 2030. We want to start the infrastructure build in each sphere. So for that only mission mode we have started. Suppose deep ocean mission, we need to build the capability and infrastructure by 2030 to achieve the goal of 2047. Similarly, we have started recently the mission Mausam. It is to improve the weather forecast. How we can, and basically to improve the weather forecast, for that, what are the infrastructure required? We need to set up by 2030 so that we can go for 2047. Now, weather is managing us, whether we can manage the weather. That's the objective in 2014. Similarly, when we are talking about blue economy, contribution to GDP is the ocean side. In the atmospheric side, we are going for weather management. Of course, when we are talking about the polar mission, so soon we are going to start the polar mission. So that mission will talk about how the geopolitically we have to behave, or we have to place in India, both in North Pole as well as South Pole, as well as Himalaya, how we need to, what is our strategy? So that is the polar mission we start. For that strategy, what are the infrastructure required in terms of polar research vessel, or you can talk about our new Maitri station, or many more things we need to do so that we can reach by 2047 is one among the serious nation in the global concerns. So that's the polar mission we are planning to start very soon. I think all these missions, I think NIOT has to play a pivotal role. It is not that somebody's atmosphere, even atmospheric mission we started. I think we need to contribute significantly, and people need your service for developing much more the technology in terms of ocean. I think as a contribution wise, NIOT is a tremendous contribution. I don't want to name it, but you see that now deep ocean mission, it is looks like very simple, but actually this is a not hundreds of parts to integrate. It is millions of parts to integrate. And we have to make it because the engineering field, it is always digital, 1 or 0. Even 99.9% you success means it is almost failure. So I think that is what important. It is a critical nature. So I think people are looking very eagerly about the mission, deep ocean mission, especially Matsya 6000. So maybe by next year or so, we will be everybody looking at it. My dream is before Gaganyaan reach to space, I think we need to reach the below the oceans. So that is our objective. I think we need to take a spirit of it. I think recently, even our Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned that he is very eagerly looking at both Gaganyaan and Samudrayaan. So one towards this space, other towards the sea. I think that is a dream we need to, because this is not even, it is not economical things. It is to show our strength towards achieving that mission. We develop more and more various other components, various other technology. That technology also will be useful for the services and other aspect of the humankind. I think we need to start many other things in the coming years, especially I think we need to go for more and more students. Basically, we have to hire more JRF, SRF research scholars, and also we need to hire postdoc. I think under deep ocean mission, we need to immediately hire the postdocs so that we need to immediately start working towards various technology. And also we need to what is called our ecosystem, we need to change. Change means we need to improve various ecosystem, not only as a group or anything. I think this is one of the things today we started this Vision 2047 document. It is a good idea, but at the same time, I personally request maybe those who have contributed today and always other people, I think you have to sit together. First, you yourself discuss together. You maybe director can facilitate, especially those who are going to be there in 2047 in this institute. Sit together, discuss, innovate. What do you want to achieve in ocean technology? Think about it. Maybe not only sitting here. Maybe you can go to different station. Maybe our station you go to Andaman or somewhere without mobile or anything. You go on discuss, because many of the sparks will come. I always believe that many of the sparks will come when you don't have an agenda meeting. You should have an agenda less meeting so that the sparks will come. Then you make an agenda for that. Then you make an implementation plan so that you can develop what your achievement is required. I think this vision document should be not only the youngsters. I think we need to discuss with maybe like our past directors and seniors of NIOT engineers and other people. It is not only NIOT alone. I think we need to, one more thing important we have to inculcate is once maybe the gap area which we need to, though we are doing it, but the gap area which I want to point out is we need to have more and more collaborations. Collaboration means within industries, and collaboration with the academia, collaboration with the other ministries, state and central, and collaboration with the international organizations of like ours, maybe technology oriented institutions world over. So I think we need to strengthen our collaborations, and we need to bring more industries, and we need to actually we have started. I think Dr. Ramdas started with something to incubation as well as startup, but we have not started up yet. I think we need to start up, and so that I think this facility what we have done yesterday. I have seen this campus, Nellore campus. I think it is a very big campus. It is the biggest campus of Ministry of Earth Sciences. I think we should use it effectively, and also you have to invite the industries, invite the academic people, students, as well as you invite our own ministry to set up various other components of observations, other components of technology, and also other ministries, maybe shipping ministry, Ministry of Biotechnology, all the ministries, you invite them so that we can have work together in that campus, so that we can, because we cannot, how long we can work on silos. We have to work together, so that culture we have to bring it within our group also. I think we don't need to make a group. We need to now converge. The groupism is actually we have to converge. I don't know how to converge, but you have to make a innovation in that, especially in NIOT. Actually, even suppose each one, I always feel that each one of you are very intelligent and very actually knowledge resource person. I think very you have come with very good background. Most of the people come from very good universities and other things. But I think we need to collectively, as a team, we need to do, we are doing good, but we have to do much more. I think that is more important in the coming years or and other things. You need to, each one of you contribute. I think we need to, because we have our only one mission, technology for ocean. That is a mission we need to think about it. For that, how we can contribute collectively. You may be in mining group, but you can contribute to the other mission group. And also you may be in some other maybe acoustic group, how you can contribute to the major missions. So that is what you have to think about it, because each alone, if you are going on doing it, it will not be useful. I think with the groupism as well as the unification of our forces is very important, because now entire world is in physics. Everybody is working on unification of forces in various strong force, weak force, nuclear force, and maybe gravitational force, everything. So we need to strengthen our forces, unify forces. We need to make it so that we can go for a quantum leap from this. I think I request all of you to come together and do much more than what you are doing. And maybe definitely in 2047, as a long-term vision, you will set forth. Of course, this vision, whatever Dr. Vijay mentioned about is, I'm not able to follow fully, but actually we need to have much more discussion, with wider discussion with youngsters and seniors. We need to have a blend of expertise and experience from seniors as well as from younger people. So we need to fuse them, so that as well as the internationally, what is the scenario is happening, and we need to nurture them so that we can move forward in the right directions. With this, once again, I congratulate all the NIOT team for your contribution for the 30 years, and especially last 1 year. And I'm hoping for the much more in the next year. I think next year will be a big expectation from you, all of you. I think you will be able to deliver in that time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your motivational talk. And we are sure of a combined and concentrated effort to move towards the Vision 2047. I would now like to request Sri S. Rajesh, Scientist of Deep Sea Mining Group, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon all. It's an honor to give a vote of thanks in this gathering. First and foremost, on behalf of the NIOT team, I would convey my deepest and heartfelt thanks to Honorable Secretary, Dr. M. Ravichandran, who spared his time for his busy schedule to grace the occasion inspiring talk. I'd also like to extend my sincere thanks to our distinguished guests of honor, Sri E. Magesh and also Tirumadi Lakshmi, for gracing this occasion in our place. A special thanks to our founder directors and past directors with past group heads and others for their vision and determination and continuous guidance, which gave the pillar upon which the institute stands now. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our director for continuous support throughout in all the aspects. Our sincere thanks to group heads, senior scientists, technical support team of NIOT who have gathered here and online for being pivotal in developing the institute. I'd also express our sincere gratitude for the people who have come here as invitees from IRS, Indian Navy, DG Shipping, CDAC, other stakeholders like SCI, Eco1 Technology, HIDAC Germany, and others. And I also have to wish or have my sincere gratitude to organizing committee under the guidance of Dr. Gopakumar for making this event wonderful. Thank you, one and all. Thanks.
So thank you one and all for gracing this occasion with your presence and making it a memorable event to remember for a long, long time. As the event comes to a close, I request all of you to join for a group photo at the entrance of the Sagar Sangamam complex, followed by lunch at Manthan Hall. And the press briefing will happen after the group photo in front of the Panikar Hall. Thank you very much.